the Height Differential. We're back recording on a Monday night as we missed on Sunday because Thanksgiving dinner went a little long, but we'll get into that. I'm the 4'10" Nick. That's the 6'6" Neil. And like I did say, we did not record on Sunday night because, dude, my nieces and nephews weren't leaving, and I wasn't just going to be the first one to leave to record the
I
pod.
mean, they have school today. Like,
They did.
put them to bed.
Well,
You were
to
over
be
there
fair,
since 1:00. How you have a 10-hour Thanksgiving?
well, I think when I finally left, it was like 9:30.
Bro, nieces and nephews should have been in bed before then.
I mean, with the rotating schedule with elementary school, I think my nephews go to school at like 9:40, so it's not like they had to get up early.
I mean, I don't know.
Also, not gonna lie, needed maybe the day to decompress after watching that fiasco in Pittsburgh.
You needed a day to decompress.
Yeah,
That happened yesterday.
I know.
So
I
how were you
needed
gonna
I
have it? How
needed
were
some
you gonna have
time.
the day to get?
I needed some time.
My God, we can all just be honest. You were hungover from the day of debauchery. Like I don't feel good. I don't feel good, and then you're like, I can't record. So I'm like, well,
Well,
this sucks.
decided to play golf at being picked up at 8:30. Probably was not my brightest idea for Sunday morning, but
We know where your
I
priorities
mean, it
lie.
played a role. It played a role. I'm not gonna lie.
We know
I
where
think
your
I was in the same position you were on Wednesday
I
night.
think I think you owe our listeners an apology because your priorities were just messed up yesterday.
Well, I wasn't gonna leave the fam when I'm
Well,
getting ready to
not
be
that,
gone
but
for
you
11
chose
days.
you chose the booze and the golfing over over recording a podcast.
Hey, we played with Pops, who would play with some older guys, shot from the old man tees and shot 41 from the old man tees yesterday. It's a
What
big
is
difference. Way big difference.
what is your shirt you're wearing?
It's Adidas.
What is that logo?
It's Adidas golf like pullover.
An A with a golf club?
Yeah,
That's for Adidas?
yeah.
Well, I see it's an Adidas brand, but I didn't know I thought it was some
Yeah, it's
goofy
just
live golf, some
no.
nonsense that they're pulling or something.
I'm not buying any live merch, 54 or 72. But I guess we need to get into all this. A lot of football action this week. We'll start in college football. And we don't really need to go too deep in 1 and 2, Ohio State and Indiana, as Ohio State remains undefeated. Was without Carnell Tate. Jeremiah Smith was limited, but they really got the rushing game going. Had 222 yards rushing, got a 100-yard kickoff, and just rolled past UCLA, who was playing without Nico. And I mean, do you have
Yeah.
anything to add to that game other than Ohio State's good?
Nope, honestly, I didn't even watch a single minute of it, so not really much to add. I figured they would take care of business. They did. They're still number 1. That's it.
Indiana was only up 10-7 at half, and Cignetti did not. He just kind of went in, was cool, and was just like, look, we just got to take care of business. And that's what they did in the second half. Mendoza was sacked 5 times, so, Wisconsin got a little pressure on him, but in the second half, he completed 92% of his passes, had almost 300 yards, had 3 of his 4 touchdown passes in the second half. And they cruised to a 31-7 victory as they just
No,
kind of put it on in the
he
second half.
just continues week after week. Mendoza just continues to strengthen his Heisman resume. I mean, he had 4 touchdowns on Saturday and 2 incompletions. So he had double the amount of touchdown passes than passes that hit the ground. And then over his last 5 home games, he has 5 more touchdown passes than incompletions in 5 games total combined.
Those numbers don't
21
even seem real.
21 touchdown passes and 16 incompletions over his last 5 home games. I mean, how do you do that?
I don't know. But, you have to look them up to believe it because, yeah, you're right. I mean, it's just incredible numbers. And to add on to that, he now has 30 touchdown passes on the season, which is an IU record. They are 11-0 for the first time in their history, as just week after week they continue to break record after record. And now what? They just Purdue, and with the win at Purdue, I believe they
Friday night.
get their first ever berth in the Big Ten championship, and
Well, they're off this
we'll
week.
lock a spot in the playoff too.
Yeah, off this week, so they have a week to prepare for the mighty Boilermakers. But a Friday night, post Friday, what we call that, Black Friday special, Friday night special next week at Purdue. Purdue hasn't won a league game in 2 years, so can't imagine that it'll be much of a challenge. So they'll be rolling right on in to the college football playoff and the Big Ten title game, probably facing Ohio State.
Probably, but just I mean, it's just like you're only up 3 at the half, but I mean, I don't think as an IU fan you're really sweating that one, and they just put them on in the second half, and I mean they just do what better teams are supposed to do, and they continue to do that week after week. The game of the week, I think, ended up being the A&N game, as they were down 30-3 at half
At home, too.
at home, and Rally scored 28 straight in the second half. They had a 4th and 12 from midfield on that first drive and decided to go for it. Marcel Reed ended up scrambling, and I think 2 plays later, he threw a 30-yard touchdown pass, and then they scored on 4 straight drives to take the lead. I mean, regardless, you're down 30-3, you figure out a way to win, and that's the name of the game. You're A&M, you've got some room for error because you haven't lost yet, but you don't want to create that and, lose that game against South Carolina, because then that takes away that room for error that you have.
Yeah, I mean, you're fighting, to get that spot in the SEC title game as well. You lose that, you're probably, in a several way tie with one loss with a couple other teams. It was an important game. They finally, I guess, woke up at halftime because they came out and just absolutely dominated that second half.
Well, Marcel Reed had 2 picks and a lost fumble. One of the lost fumbles was picked up and returned for a touchdown in the first half by South Carolina, but he ends up finishing with a career high 439 yards and 3 TDs. Just an incredible second half. As like I said, they went on to score 4 straight possessions. They outgained South Carolina 371-76 in the second half. So really, just the tide was turned, but you wonder, like, if they don't go for it on that 4th down at midfield on the first drive and you punt the ball and you give it to South Carolina, is the outcome of this game totally different?
Yeah, I mean, very, very, very likely. Yeah.
But prior to Saturday, teams in the SEC were 0-286 since 2004 when trailing by 27 points or more.
Hey, I mean, if you're South Carolina and you make history, the wrong side of history like that, that's what leads to firing your head coach, and that's exactly what happened after this game. As Shane Beamer is now looking for a new job.
Yeah, but and look, this was kind of a revenge game for A&M too. South Carolina beat A&M pretty handily last year at the end of the season and kind of sent A&M into a tailspin when before that game they were kind of on the verge of maybe making the postseason. So there was a revenge element to this. Like the bottom line is you just got to figure out ways to win. And when you're staring at 30-3, the clock is kind of your biggest nemesis there, right? And I mean, you just score on 4 straight and figure out. But here's another thing too: they get the lead 31-30, and there's like 5 minutes left. They're on the 1-yard line, and they decide to run a trick play where Reed goes wide left. They throw a backwards pass to him from the running back. It's a fumble. South Carolina picks it up. And now all of a sudden, because you're trying to be running all these trick plays when you really don't need it, you're already up. South Carolina has a chance to go win the game. They move the ball a little bit, but then back-to-back sacks by A&M put them in 4th and long, and they were able to secure the win. But why are you running a play like that when you've battled back from 30-3? You lead 31-30. There's 5 minutes left. You got the ball at the 1-yard line.
Yeah,
and you're trying to be cute.
I mean, that's like, yeah, you've dominated that entire second half. There's no reason to be cute. Just line it up, run it in, and extend the lead. Like, you don't like you're dominating. All the momentum is on your side. Like, I don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, that one was really kind of just like, what? Like, you've done all this, and now you're just going to be, hey, South Carolina, go take another chance to try to beat us. I didn't understand that play. It did end up working out. Did you see the issue with the South Carolina wide receiver and the police officer?
Sure did. And I don't know what that police officer was thinking. I mean, South Carolina just scored. He ran up the tunnel, looked like he might have hurt himself a little bit, ran up the tunnel, 2 of his other guys go to check on him. They're walking back to the field, and this jackwagon just decides he's just gonna try to walk right through him. What's he doing?
But
And
it wasn't that he just
then he
walked through him, like,
shoves him. He gives him, like, a
yeah,
forearm, and then he turns around and yells at him, like, "Go
right.
away, sir." Like, "What are
Like
you doing?"
like, I could see maybe if you accidentally walked into them, but
Well, why
then, like, the way he stopped and, like, was kinda yelling at them a little bit after it happened, like, what is going on?
why is he walking up the tunnel?
I don't know that either. Like, I don't know. They walked really far down the tunnel after the play, but it did look like he had injured himself a little
Right.
bit,
Yeah.
and I think they were going to check him out, and then
Right.
they're all 3 coming down together,
Well,
and yeah, I don't know why all of a
why is the
sudden
cop going up there while they're
he's
coming out?
walking straight down the middle too.
Yeah, I don't yeah.
Just kind of a bizarre scene, but I mean, it caught the eye of LeBron James and several other people talking about this police officer, and
Well,
I
I
mean,
think
look,
they
it's
and police said that he was relieved of his game
yeah,
responsibilities after that.
which I guess I mean, I don't think he should lose his job over that, but
No, not
you
that.
lose you lose the right to I mean, that's a fun job for police officers to work the sideline in college football games,
Yeah, put it
and
now, I think he's I mean, at least put it slap a yellow vest on him and put him in the parking lot. He can direct traffic on the way out.
but just kind of a odd scene there. I don't like it just like even if you just accidentally run into him, like
It
you
was
would
no
apologize or something instead of acting like you're mad at the football player for walking down the tunnel.
Yeah, that was no accident. There's no accident there.
But A&M figures out a way to win, even though they were down 27 points at half. Takes care of Texas 35-10. Gunnar Stockton throws 4 touchdown passes and throws for 299 yards. I mean, it's a close game throughout. Georgia scores, I think it was the third quarter, and
Wait,
they're leading 14-10, and then they run that onside kick.
how many touchdown passes did you say Stockton threw?
Threw 4 touchdown passes.
5 touchdowns. 5 total touchdowns. Sorry,
Yeah.
5 total touchdowns.
Yeah, he had a
Which is
rushing
4.
as well.
Yes, correct. Alright.
You gonna
Yeah.
come at me with the stat guy? You the
You
stat
can't
guy over there?
well, I mean, well, come on now. Let's give him a little more credit. He had another touchdown. Give
But I
him
did say through. I didn't say had. I said through.
you're discounting him and his running ability.
But after Texas had trimmed Georgia's lead to 14-10 in the third quarter, he had a 13-yard touchdown pass, and they followed that with an onside kick.
That was good.
And
Yeah. Yeah.
so Texas really hadn't moved the ball that well all game. What do you think's going in Kirby Smart's mind on that onside kick? They had to just see something on film, and
Yeah. I think they saw something like, if their return setup looks like this, then we can exploit them in this way. And I mean, nobody was expecting it. Like you said, like they hadn't been moving the ball. Georgia was already winning. Just kick it deep, play defense, get the ball back, and go score again. So nobody expected it. So great awareness by Georgia and Kirby Smart. Like you said, they probably saw something that they knew they could exploit, and they did it.
yeah, and really once that happened, it was kind of curtains for the Longhorns. The 21-0 fourth quarter just kind of puts them to bed. Texas is ranked 10th in the country. I think me and you are both in agreement that they're probably not the 10th best team. Arch Manning's numbers were fine. He had 251 yards, a touchdown, and a pick. But
Texas,
what?
Texas, Texas. To me, they're the Chicago Bears of college football. They have a good record, but man, they just find ridiculous ways to try to somehow just win games, and that's what they're doing. Like the Kentucky game, where they put up 10 points, 13 points in regulation, and Kentucky kind of beat themselves. They should have lost that. There's a couple other games that they
Mississippi
probably
State
should have
game
lost.
the next week.
Yeah, the next week. That's right. Yeah, they came back from 17 in the fourth quarter. So to me, they're the Chicago Bears of college football, where they're just winning these games that they probably shouldn't be winning.
I do think Georgia, who has had slow starts throughout the year, didn't really have that on Saturday, and I think they're really kind of rounded into form a little bit. Gunnar Stockton's playing his best football, so they're a team. I think, obviously, with them being fifth in the country, they're a team to be reckoned with. But I think they're playing the best football that they've played all year. And then the other big SEC battle was Oklahoma going to Alabama, and Oklahoma's defense really kind of shined in that one as they end Alabama's 17-game home winning streak, I believe. and win that one 23-21.
Yeah, I mean, and it didn't take a superhuman effort from John Mateer. I mean, he only threw for 138 yards. Oklahoma only ran for 74 yards on the ground, so it was all basically their defense because their offense didn't really do much in that game, but they did just enough.
Well, they had that pick six.
Yeah, they did.
Whenever it's a close game, and it's not just a pick six, a 87-yard pick six by Eli Bowen. That I mean, when you've got two teams that are even like that, that's really a play that can kind of flip the script. I mean, Alabama outgained Oklahoma 406-212. So, and like you said, Materia only had 161 total yards, and Ty Simpson threw for 330, but they really limited them on their last four drives as Oklahoma held them to 57 yards. Over their last four drives, they had 17 points off of turnovers. So they were able to get the lead by forcing turnovers and then really held the offense in check over the last four drives to secure that win.
No, I mean that's the story. You look at the if you look at the box score, like you said, it was 406 to 212 on the total yards, but the turnover battle was +3 in favor of Oklahoma. You know, Alabama 3 turnovers. Oklahoma, they didn't move the ball very well, but they didn't make the mistakes. They didn't turn it over. They didn't give Alabama short fields. They scored some points on defense, and that's the story is just taking care of the ball and forcing those turnovers.
And now I think, I mean, this kind of securely puts Oklahoma in the conversation
Yeah,
to be in the playoff.
yeah,
But and Mateer didn't have a great game, but I think he is getting healthier. He was putting up great numbers at the beginning of the year. If he could start doing that again with the way that this defense is playing, I mean, this was always the plan, right? Bringing Brent Venables in to Oklahoma, the plan was always to have a defense that could kind of carry your team. And if they can continue to play this way and then get better play from Mateer, when we were talking about the first month and a half of the season where he was potentially a Heisman candidate, that's not the case anymore. But if he can get back to that play with this defense, they can make some noise.
yeah, absolutely.
Then we look at Ole Miss rallies late to beat Florida, but really, I mean, I thought this game was in Gainesville because they're talking about we want Lane, and it was just Florida fans at the game in Oxford chanting for Lane to come to Gainesville, and I don't know, both LSU and Florida seem to be recruiting him pretty heavily,
See, that's
and I I think the AD there at Ole Miss is getting a little fed up with it and wants a decision.
I mean, that's pretty brazen of Florida fans to go into enemy territory and just start chanting, "We want your coach." I mean, man, what a statement that is. But no, I think you're right. If you're the AD there, you hear that, and it's like, well, what are you gonna do? You know, it's like you mentioned before we got on here that he's setting a deadline for Lane to come out and say what he wants to do.
That's the talks. I mean, they've said that already that his ex-wife has been to Baton Rouge and been to Gainesville. I mean, you know how
I
all
mean,
this
we
stuff
hear
is.
that all. I mean,
You
there's
know how all
flight
this stuff is.
trackers, and oh, there's a flight going from Baton Rouge to Ole Miss, and it could just be that's a standard route. Like you can't believe all that nonsense.
I think. I mean, they're obviously in great. They're 10 and what? They've had one loss. They're 10-1, 6-1 in the SEC. They're in great position to be in the playoff. Lane Kiffin just has the reputation to always be on the move. I mean, if I'm him and I'm at Ole Miss and they're telling me that they're going to give me all this backing and they're talking about how they're going to put money into the program and you've already proven that you could have success and now you're taking the next step and looks like you might get to the playoff. I mean, I would take the little extra money they're probably going to give me and stay there, but I don't know if Lane Kiffin really if that's how he operates.
Yeah, I mean, I can't speak for Lane, and like you said, he has the reputation of jumping around, but I don't know why you would want to go and start over somewhere else. Take over a struggling program that I mean, Florida historically is not a struggling program, but they've been
Well, they
down.
haven't been good since Urban
No,
Meyer left.
right. Like they've been down the last couple of years. So you're basically gonna go, you have a good thing going, you're 10-1, you're right in the mix to try to get to the SEC championship game, you're squarely in the mix for a playoff spot, and then go to take over a 3-7 Florida team and with all the expectations and pressure you're gonna feel there already year one. I mean, if you go and start over and you don't succeed in year one, they're gonna be jumping on you already. So I would just you got a good thing going. I don't understand why you would give up a good thing.
I don't either, but this is not gonna go away, and I mean, it really is kinda overriding the success that this Ole Miss team is having. I mean, Trinidad Chambliss had another great game. Lacey had 224 yards and 3 touchdowns on the ground. This is a good Ole Miss team, and I don't know. And look, maybe it's not his fault. Maybe I mean, obviously, if you're a coach in these openings, people are gonna suggest that this might be happening. But I just feel like it's kind of taking over the story of the good football that these Ole Miss players are.
Yeah, no, and that's kind of a shame. It is kind of a distraction when, other schools are rumored to be coming after your coach and you're still have a lot to play for. You have a national championship to play for. So it's definitely distracting. It has to be distracting. So it's not really fair to the players or the fans for that matter. If you're the AD, you just wish that Lane would come out and say something instead of just leaving everybody in limbo. It's just not the way it is these days.
Yeah, I don't see him doing that. But Texas Tech, after taking care of BYU last week, just absolutely put it on UCF. And our boy Joey Rodriguez, they were talking about him being a Heisman Trophy candidate. They did a little something extra to try to get him on the stage last week
Yeah,
or on Saturday.
did you see the coach's quote? He said, everybody's talking about QBs for Heisman, so we decided to put him at QB. And what did he do? He scores a touchdown. So, I mean, they're embracing it, man. They're embracing his celebrity. They're embracing his Heisman campaign. He had an interception. He scored a touchdown on offense, had an interception on defense, was the leading tackler with 9 total tackles. He had a pass defended. Like, he's just all over the place. I mean, defensive players for Heisman's, like I think I looked it up. The last one was Chase Young in 2019 from Ohio State that ended up going to New York as part of that ceremony. So it's not often. It's not probably a realistic thing that a defensive player will win a Heisman. Like I said, Charles Woodson, I think, was the actual last one to do it. But I love it. I love the campaign they're putting behind this guy.
Yeah, no, it's cool, and it'll be fun to see what other kind of quirky plays they utilize the rest of the year to try to. You can do that too when you're up by 40 points
48 to
and
9.
you're just rolling. And Texas Tech is in a really good spot to get to the playoffs as they lead the Big 12. Notre Dame went to Pitt as Pitt hosted game day, and Notre Dame kind of showed Pitt that they're not quite at their level yet. Jeremiah Love, it was early in the game, one of the coolest to the house runs I may have ever seen, where he just straight hit circle button at the 50-yard line and just duked every single Pitt defender and then took it all the way to the house. And he's another guy that, we haven't talked about him much on this show, but he's another guy that might be on his way to New York.
Yeah, he's the best running back in the country. He had another awesome game on Saturday against Pitt. But yeah, not a lot of people are talking about him, as they should. I mean, they should be because he's that good.
BYU rebounds with the big win over TCU. Utah has just absolutely killed some teams this year. Won on Saturday, 55-28. Miami gets a 41-7 win over NC State, and then Georgia Tech, who I guess they're in the driver's seat in the ACC, but it takes a come from behind win at BC against a team who hasn't won since week 1 against Fordham to I don't know what to. I mean, Haynes King, I really like him, but I guess in the end, it's just like A&M. You figure out a way to win, and that's all that matters. But can you really be down in the fourth quarter against a 1-win BC team?
I mean, they were just sleepwalking in that game. I don't know if they just thought they'd get off the bus and kick the ball off, and all of a sudden, the game would be over, and they'd be walking out of there with a victory without having to do anything. So, I mean, Boston College made them work for it. They had to outscore them 19-6 in the fourth quarter just to get that 2-point victory. So, I mean, them and Virginia, I think, are in the driver's seats since Virginia housed Duke the other day. So they're both sitting there with 1 conference loss. They went out, and SMU's also there with 1 conference loss as well. So, I mean, they are in the driver's seat, but man, they took a long detour to get back on the road.
Yeah, but figured out a way to win. Haynes King almost threw for 400 yards. They had 19 points in the fourth quarter to come back and win that one. Michigan wins with the late field goal at Wrigley Field,
Wrigley
which
Field.
it's always cool when they're playing college football games at Wrigley Field. And I mean, with Northwestern Stadium, they're doing all that construction right now. I mean, you go from a stadium that's having construction that I think is basically like a soccer stadium to Wrigley. It's a big difference.
Yeah, no, cool. I mean, anytime you can put a sporting event at Wrigley Field, it's good.
And you talked about Virginia taking care of Duke. So, and then South Florida, who a lot of people had as, that non-power 4, power 5 team to get in the playoff, loses to Navy, and that American race. I don't know if that the last playoff team is going to come out of the American, but that the league is all just kind of tightened up there.
Yeah, I mean, South Florida, they after that win at Florida earlier in the year, and people were talking about them as being in like the driver's seat of getting that non-power four spot, but a couple losses here, and now it looks like James Madison might be in that spot.
Yeah, and could they potentially play IU?
That they very well could. That would be awesome.
So, so that would be interesting. No, but it's hard to believe what we're already in week 12. It's crazy how fast it goes. James Franklin appears like he's going to be heading to Blacksburg to be the head coach of the Hokies. You talked about Beamer getting fired at South Carolina. He's probably he's got to be the biggest name coach that Virginia Tech's had since Frank Beamer was there.
Yeah,
If he,
I think
yeah,
it's a great landing spot for James Franklin as well. Like, you had success. You have success where basically everywhere you've gone. You were just in the college football playoff last year with Penn State, but now you don't have to face the Ohio States and the Michigans every year and the powerhouse Indiana football team that they've got up there in Bloomington now. So the ACC, I think for him is a great landing spot. It's a winnable conference, especially in years like this year when Clemson and Florida State are down, and Miami is, they're good, but they're not the Miami that everybody expected them to be. So it's a good landing spot. He can win. He can win there. He can win now. I mean, you can turn it around as long as they give him the resources and the NIL money that everybody says that they've promised him. So for him, to me, it's a good situation for him and for
I
Virginia,
think it's
for
no,
both.
I think it's a great situation, and they've got a great football tradition. If they're going to put money behind it, and you're right, like the schedule in the ACC is just different than it is in the Big Ten and the SEC. That's just the way when Miami and Florida State aren't, in the top 5 like they used to be, but the ACC was hoping they were going to be when they brought them over. That just hasn't been the case here recently. Clemson's been down, and no, I do. I think it's a good spot for James Franklin, and it works out really well for Penn State too,
Yeah,
as they
save a little money,
renegotiate his buyout from
save a lot of.
$49 million to $9 million.
That's more manageable.
Yeah, yeah. Like that's I don't even like. I don't know how. Like, is that just him being a nice guy?
No, I think that actually was part of the agreement that when he got fired, it was in the buyout clause that he had to at least attempt to get another job, and if he landed another job, Penn State would just have to pay the difference of whatever he's getting paid at the new job compared to what his old contract. So if he was making $9 million a year at Penn State and he's making $8 million a year here at Virginia Tech, Penn State kicks in that extra million to basically make it even. So I think that's kind of what happened
Will
here.
all these coaches not have this clause in their contract?
No, they do not. No, no, they don't. Some are just you pay me all the money and you pay me all the money up front, or you pay me over 5 years, you pay me over 3 months or whatever. But no, not all do. I think this was a smart play by Penn State of having that
You
in.
think? You think? Yeah, it was a smart play.
I mean,
I mean, James Franklin could have gone and done TV.
but he could have told Virginia Tech, "I'll coach for $100 a year," and then make Penn State be on the hook for basically the whole buyout if he wanted
Yeah.
to.
He also could have gone and done TV.
He could have done TV.
You go from 49 to 9. I mean, just think about how much that changes the budget lines for Penn State for the next 7 years. Like it just like Penn State, good on you for getting that in his contract because these buyouts are crazy. And I mean, I don't think that's in Brian Kelly's contract.
I think he's going to be owed all of that money over the next couple months, I think.
So I guess need to get into the NFL.
Do we have to?
Yeah, let's start with the Bengals and then we can get into everything else. You good with that?
Sure. There's not much to say. It's just another dumpster fire after week. It's just, the fire just gets hotter and hotter in the dumpster.
Well, it was for all the I know because like I said, I had Thanksgiving on Sunday, and you know what the score was for the majority of the first half.
The kids do. The kids do. 6-7.
The Bengals score, they tie the game on extra point, they get a penalty. Pittsburgh gets a penalty, so Zac Taylor decides we'll take a point off the board
Why
and
would
we'll go for two.
Oh, let's start there. Let's go piece by piece here. Why are we taking the point off the board? Why are we taking the point off the board? You can move it up an extra yard closer to the goal line, but come on, you've tied the game. Let's take the tie. Like, it's early in the game. We're not chasing points in the first
First
quarter.
quarter.
It's the first quarter. Take the point that's on the board, and especially when you run some stupid play that you ran on the 2-point conversion that went
Well,
absolutely nowhere, and then all of a sudden you're losing the game
that's
because
the
you're an
issue.
idiot.
That's the issue. Like, I really don't have a
I do.
problem with going for it.
I have a problem with it.
Like, if you got to think that you can get a yard.
Nope. Not this. Nope. Nope.
But, I mean, I also understand because but you take a point off and then it's 6-7 almost the entire first half until the last drive of the second quarter where the Bengals have 2 roughing the passer penalties and a 30-yard gain, and they end up stopping them
They did.
again inside the 10 and hold them to a field goal. They only allowed 10 points in the first half. The Bengals defense,
They did.
they held them to 2 of 7 on third down in the first half and forced 3 consecutive punts. The Bengals defense and the offense couldn't do anything. Play complimentary football.
The offense, I mean, the first drive of the game for the offense was actually really, really good. They were running the ball. Chase Brown would look like he was going to run all over Pittsburgh in that game off that first drive. Joe Flacco had that nice down the sideline pass to T. Higgins for a touchdown. And then it looked like we were going to be off and rolling like we just were against Pittsburgh 3-4 weeks ago. And then came all to a screeching halt.
Yeah. I mean, the Bengals didn't do anything in the second half. Joe Flacco threw a pick 6.
Yeah, fumble
Another fumble 6.
Fumble 6.
And
Don't tackle anybody. Geno Stone just needs to be cut tomorrow. I mean, if he's active for the rest of the season, why?
Look,
He can healthy and active. He should be.
I could fake my way through coaching baseball. I could fake my way through coaching basketball. Admittedly, I could not coach football. Like, I could not. But when it's that evident.
Now, when you say coach football, like you're saying you can't coach the techniques of tackling and the techniques,
Yes.
or you can make decisions on, okay, you suck, you're not playing.
Well, I can do that, but I don't understand.
You can do that.
Like, all the formations and all that. Like, I don't know enough about it to where I could coach.
But you know when a player is playing well and when a player sucks.
But
and
when I see Barrett Carter in space, I'm like, all right, well, we're not getting a stop. When I see Geno Stone and he has to make a tackle and he was like, oh, he's going to bounce off of him and he has no chance.
He doesn't even try. He just throws his body at a guy. Doesn't use his arms. Doesn't try to wrap up anything. He just tries to throw his body at somebody, and then he just hits the ground, and the runner just keeps running. It's just an embarrassment that Geno Stone is an NFL player.
Well, and you asked him to take a pay cut in the offseason because he wasn't what you thought he was when you signed him. And instead of cutting him, you ask him to take a pay cut, and then you're like, oh, but you'll still play every single snap.
He
gave up 27 points. They've given up 27 points in 9 straight games. Ties an NFL record. The Chargers also did that in 2020. That date backs to 1920. Dates back over 100 years. So they've allowed 14 points in the fourth quarter in 5 straight games. That is an NFL record. The 84 points allowed in the fourth quarter over the last 5 games ties an NFL record. They converted a 3rd and 17 and I think 3rd and 11s.
Oh yeah, third and long was the theme of yesterday. You get the Pittsburgh Steelers into 3rd and over 10, and it was almost an automatic first down on the
And
next
it was
play.
just little screen passes
Oh, that
too.
was
It
it.
wasn't
All they had to
just
do
a
was
little.
just all they had to do was just tackle somebody, and they couldn't do it.
The NFL average on 3rd and 10s is 19%. The Bengals are last in the NFL coming into the game. At 30%, they had allowed 6 of 20 3rd and 10 conversions on the season. On Sunday, they allowed 3 alone, uh, which is tied for the most this year. They
Yeah,
suck.
I mean, in at halftime, you're like you said, you get the ball to start the second half. You're down 10-6. Aaron Rodgers is out of the game, so you're facing Mason Rudolph. You're thinking, "We might be able to do something here." And it was just an absolute opposite. They just butt whooped us on both sides of the ball and just boat raced us in the second half.
Yeah, is
Then you got and then you're the Zac Taylor apologist. You just love Zac Taylor, which to me makes
never said I
no
loved
sense.
him. Like,
Yes, you do. You're a love fest with Zac Taylor, which makes no sense. The man on 4th and 1 from midfield when you're down 2 touchdowns, everybody knows you're not going to punt the ball. You get up under center and you try to draw them off sides and waste the timeout. What are you doing right there? Run the play. You want to try to draw them off, that's fine, but you don't burn the timeout. What you do is you run the play, you sneak it, you get the first down.
yeah,
Absolutely
and
inexcusable. And then coming out of a
well, and
first
they got
down,
lucky on that. They got lucky there.
well, then coming out, then you had to burn it. Then right after that, you burned another timeout because you couldn't get the play call in because the play clock was running down to 1. And then you take a delay a game after a first down.
No, I mean,
That, that's your head coach. That's your guy.
I'd fire him.
Thank you.
I'd fire him. I'd fire Duke. I'd fire Zac Taylor, and I'd fire Al Golden.
Glad you finally came around.
I mean, you have to.
Yes,
You have to.
there's no doubt. But will
You're
they?
I don't know.
In
I
your opinion, I want you to look at your little crystal ball. You got a little magic 8 ball over there. I want you to shake it up real nice and good real quick and look into that future and what do the Bengals look like next year with those 3? Is Duke Tobin here? Is Zac Taylor here? And is Al Golden here next year?
well, I'll rank them. Who's most likely to be there? I think Duke Tobin's most likely to be there because he's been there since 1999.
Insane. Absolutely insane.
I mean, he's the first one that I would fire.
Absolutely.
So I'll give you 2 rankings. I'll give who's most likely, and I'll give you who I would.
Okay.
Duke Tobin is the first I would fire, and
Yes.
he's the most likely to still be there.
Yes.
Zac Taylor and Al Golden are a package deal because Zac just hired him from Notre Dame. So, I mean, they can't. Neither one of them can be understaffed next year. Neither one of them. Like, you have to start fresh. You keep DJ Turner. You maybe keep Demetrius Knight just because he's a rookie, and but there's not many other pieces on that defense that you bring back next year.
How
And
you gonna
you
fill
start
them all?
completely over. Your offense is completely set. You don't have to do anything on offense.
No, I agree with that.
You don't have to touch it. Everybody is back. Your whole and I hate that we're doing this in week 11. But yeah, you have to start completely fresh on defense. So I mean, the bottom line is this can't be your coaching staff and this can't be your front office next year. But there's a chance that Zac will not be here. There's a chance that Al Golden will not be here. I I think the chances are very slim that Duke Tobin will not be here.
That's unfortunate.
I guess we got to talk about the spitting.
Clown show.
I mean, they were getting in it as him and Jalen Ramsey as much as I've seen 2 players get in it. They were just hanging on to each other's face masks there for 5 minutes at one point. And dude, Jalen Ramsey is
Well, he's got a history. He's got a
he's
history with
got a
the
history
Bengals.
of it.
Well, he's
Well,
got a history
yeah, I
with the
mean,
Bengals. He and
if you
AJ
get
Green were duking it out at midfield when he was a Jaguar. Got AJ, and AJ Green was one of the most level-headed, calm guys that I've ever seen play for the Bengals, and he's out there throwing punches at Jalen Ramsey because he's just a punchable guy, I guess.
well, I mean, yeah, you're right. Like, if you're getting AJ to act like that, you have a good ability to get into people's heads and make them want to punch you in the face.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of what went on yesterday.
And look, there's already bad blood between Jamar and Jalen Ramsey. You see Ramsey throw the punch. I mean, can we quit punching people in the helmet?
That's also true.
Didn't see the spit until later. Jamar says, "I didn't spit on that guy."
Idiot.
Well, The video shows otherwise, Jamar.
I mean, clearly he's not gonna say, "Yeah, I spit on him." I think he was maybe hoping that you couldn't tell on video, knowing damn well he did do it. I mean, I don't blame him for saying I didn't do it, but yeah, that evidence is pretty clear. Like, we got stop spitting on people. Like, again, how does this just keep happening?
I don't know.
We are
Jalen
grown
Carter did it.
adults.
What?
We are grown adults.
Yeah, it's just gross. I mean, it's just gross. And Jalen Carter did it to Dak in week 1. He didn't get suspended. They said, "Oh, he missed the whole game." So it basically was a suspension, but it looks like Jamar is gonna be the first player ever suspended for an entire game for spitting.
I mean, it's warranted. I can't disagree with it. Ain't what it was the fine? $100,000? Is that what I saw?
Close to it, a little bit less than that. I mean, it's a game check, so it's a 1/18th of his pay.
Yeah, that's a lot of
I
money.
mean, he's appealing. I don't see how this gets overturned, but
I mean, he deserves it. It doesn't matter at this point anyway. I
no, and I mean, what, you have the Patriots and you have the Ravens twice,
Bills.
oh, and the Bills over the next 4 weeks. I mean, you're
I mean, at
gonna
this point,
be
you're playing for the draft pick now.
yeah, and I guess Burrow will still play if he's ready, but I don't
There's no pressure on him if he comes back at least.
no, well, yeah, but no, I mean, get that pick
Yeah.
because
But then Duke
it's
Tobin will
it's
probably
over.
mess it up. We'll get a nice top 5 pick, and Duke Tobin will probably just screw it up and pick some guy that has never had a sack in his college career or
Well,
some nonsense like that.
well, and Trey's never gonna play again either, so he's already doubtful for next week, so
Yeah. It's it's the show goes
this
on.
is this isn't a Bengals show. We need to quit our venting, but it's so frustrating. What non-Bengals game stood out to you yesterday?
The one that stood out to me the most, and we say this every week. I don't know how it keeps happening, but the Denver Broncos just continue to find ways to win games, and they beat a damn good Chiefs team yesterday.
Well, and
And
they also really separated themselves in the AFC West.
yeah, no, like for a team that's already leading that division, to just keep digging the Chiefs' hole deeper and deeper. Good for them. But I don't understand how it keeps happening. It's like I said, we've said we're not Bo Nix believers on this show, but their defense is really, really good. So good for the Broncos. They keep finding ways to do it, and as long as they keep winning, that's all that matters.
Look, you've said we're not huge Bo Nix believers, and I think I've been even more of a hater of Bo Nix than you have. But yesterday, his fifth fourth quarter comeback
Yeah,
of the year, and that's what they just keep doing. They keep finding ways to win games late. He finished with almost 300 yards, had a huge 3rd and 15 conversion on that game-winning drive to Cortland Sutton, and then he hit Troy Franklin down the sideline to set up Lutz's 35-yard game-winning field goal. Yeah, their defense is the story of this team, and they forced the Chiefs twice in a row to go 3 and out when they had a chance to extend the lead late.
yeah,
But I mean, I have gotten on Bo Nix, but I didn't think he was great. He was good yesterday, and was a big reason why he won that game. And you want a crazy stat: the Chiefs last year were 11-0
mm-hmm.
in one-score games.
Mm.
This year, do you know what the record is in one-score games?
Something in 5. Were they 2-5, 1-5, 0-5, 0-5?
They're 5-5 overall,
Yep,
and
all 5 by 1 score.
yep, and the Chiefs now the Chiefs are 5-5, and the Broncos are they're 9-2.
Yeah.
So 3.5 games clear.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, that's what stood out to me was just the Broncos continue to win, and I think the other game that stood out to me was what we thought was gonna be the game of the day, and it turned out to be a pretty good one in terms of score, but Sam Darnold just was awful yesterday. Awful. And, I had the Seahawks as my best team in the NFL. You had the Rams as your top pick, and the Rams came out on top of that 2-point victory, but 4 interceptions for Darnold yesterday. Brutal.
Yeah, and he's really struggled against the Rams, and more specifically against their defense coordinator, Chris Shula. In the 3 games against his defense, he's 0-3, and he's been sacked 12 times, and he's thrown 5 picks.
And I think wasn't it didn't they lose to the Rams when he was with, Minnesota last year in the playoffs?
Yep,
Yeah.
yep. So, eh, he's what against every other coordinator, he's 21-4. And the Rams bring pressure, and I think it's just proven that that's kind of Sam Darnold's kryptonite right now is when he's pressured, he makes mistakes, and that's what happened on Sunday. But I mean, if you made me if we're doing this on Wednesday and I get first pick, I'm going Rams as
Yeah,
the best
it's
team in
hard
the
not
league,
to. I
and
mean,
Stafford continues to play well.
yeah, I mean, and losing to the Rams, I don't think makes the Seahawks, I still think they're probably one of the top 3, 4 teams in the league. I mean, Sam Darnold's not gonna do this. I mean, he's proven he's better than this. So I'm just chalking this up as a one-off for him. Like you said, he struggles against this team and this defensive coordinator. So Seahawks will be fine, but the Rams are just better.
Yeah, the Bills at home beat the Bucks 44-32. Josh Allen was kind of a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde with some of the great plays he was making and some of the just did you see the two-handed pass that he threw from his own end zone as it got picked? Like, one of the worst interceptions I've ever seen. But he ends up with 317 passing yards, 3 passing touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and then 3 more rushing touchdowns, and they limited Baker Mayfield to just 173 yards as the Bills took care of the Bucks. The game last night was I think everybody was looking forward to that one, and with Detroit going into Philly, and Jared Goff looked bad.
Yeah. No, the Lions look bad. Jared Goff looked bad. Eagles weren't that impressive either. I mean, just a boring 16-9, boring game.
And it was cold and windy, and it was gusty, and Jared Goff was 14 of 37, and he's had a history of struggling in these cold, windy games, and that continued last night. And yeah, like you said, it didn't seem like the Eagles really wanted to win the game either. But we did see a tush push get stopped.
We did. Yeah, I did see that actually. Yes. Yes, we did. There's a blueprint now for somebody for a team to follow that they can stop it.
Yeah, the Ravens were trailing early, but came back to win at Cleveland, and we got to see Shedeur Sanders for the first time.
Yeah, I don't think that went as well as he was hoping it would go.
4 of 16, 47 yards and a pick. I saw one stat that said if he would have just dropped back and spiked it, he would have had a higher QB rating if he would have done that. But there's also saying that Stefanski has not played him at all with the first stringers in practice, and that was the first time that he's been out there with them. And I don't know, this whole handling of Shedeur and their 50 quarterbacks that they have in Cleveland has just been odd all year.
It's odd. I mean, I don't think Shedeur is a bad talent. I just think I don't think still think he was prepared. Like you said, he hasn't gotten the reps. He just came in and looked like he didn't really know what to do. Can we talk about probably the best worst team or the worst best team in football, the Chicago Bears, and how they just continue to just somehow win games?
7-3.
7-3 in first place in the NFC North, a division that we all expected to be one of the best in football with the Packers, the Lions, and the Vikings. But the last-second field goal yesterday to beat the Vikings, so they win that by 2. The week before, they win by 4 against the bad Giants team. We all know what happens when they pulled out that last-minute victory against the terrible Bengals. They beat the Commanders by 1. They beat the Raiders by 1. Like, they have all of these close games against these bad teams that they are just barely winning. They are not a good football team. And that they're 7, 8, and what did we say they were?
They're 7-3.
7-3 and in first place. I does not make sense to me.
I mean, they were up 16-3 going into the fourth quarter. The Vikings, who hadn't moved the ball at all the entire game, get 2 scores to go up, and then what do the Bears do? They get a field goal at the gun.
Big kick return. Yeah.
And then get a field goal at the gun, but
I just don't understand how it keeps happening.
JJ McCarthy was 16 of 32, and guess what Caleb Williams was? Also 16 of 32. Both with 50% completion percentages. Justin Jefferson had 5 catches for 61 yards. He's on pace for just 1,200 yards and 3 touchdowns this year, and kind of showed his frustration on Sunday. I know Darnold struggled, but you got to wonder, did they screw that one up by not bringing him back, because he's been really good until yesterday.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, really, the Patriots continue to win on Thursday night. The Dolphins win in Madrid on a game-winning field goal in overtime. The Panthers are 6-5. I talked about them maybe being a team when we had to figure out teams that weren't going to make the playoffs, or that didn't make the playoffs that might make it this year. They were one of the teams I mentioned. I didn't really believe myself.
I don't
But-
even know what your reason. I don't even think you even remember your reasoning for it. But somehow they're sitting there at
But they're-
6-5.
But they're 6-5.
They're in the mix.
I mean, listen to the playoffs in the AFC right now. The
AFC?
1 seed is the Denver Broncos. The 2 seed is the New England Patriots. And the 3 seed is the Indianapolis Colts. If you would have bet that at the beginning of the year for those 3 teams to win the division, I think you're going to be making a lot of money.
Yeah, although I did call the Colts, so we
Well,
always,
that's 1 of 3. You have to get 2 more to win that bet. And then, I mean, I still don't think the Steelers are that good, and they're sitting there at the 4 seed because they're leading the North. And then
I don't know. If we can go back and find episode 1 of this show, and when we did these predictions, I may have said the Broncos were gonna win that division. I know I said they were making the playoffs, and I was cussing the Chiefs out for I thought they were going to regress. I might have said the Denver Broncos. We need to go back and pull the tape on that.
Well, it's all out there. I mean, that's the thing. Like, this lives on the internet for all eternity. So
We're gonna have to. I'm
we
gonna
can
go
find
pull the
it.
tape. We're gonna pull the tape from episode 1 or 2 and find that segment, because I might have had 2 out of 3 here.
Yeah. And then your Bears are now, I mean, the Eagles and the Rams won 2 seeds in the NFC, but then your Bears are the 3 seed in the NFC right now.
Rob Jones is rejoicing over in Plainview right now.
I don't know. Like, I don't think there's great teams this year.
No, if you asked me to pick the Super Bowl champion, I would probably tell you the Baltimore Ravens, and they're sitting there at 500 on the season. So there's not a lot of great teams, but I don't know. We'll see when it comes down to crunch time. Will the teams that have risen to the top in the past couple of years, the Bills, the Chiefs, the Ravens, will they continue to do that as wild card teams, or will some of these newcomers prove that they're not frauds?
I don't know. I mean, I know there's like, it's hard to trust these teams. You know? I don't know. Yeah, that's what people love about the NFL is you just never know from year to year who's going to be in the playoffs. And I mean, honestly, it makes what the Chiefs have done even more impressive. The fact that they've been able to run it off over the last, 5-6 years and be there every year when the league does change as much as it does. But I know one team that's not making the playoffs, and that is your Cincinnati Bengals.
New York Jets.
Well, you want to talk about the New York Jets? Justin Fields out as quarterback.
Yep, benched again. Yep.
He led his team to 500 yards 3 weeks ago.
He beat us.
500 yards. He led his team to 500 yards.
Sure did.
One thing we didn't talk about, and I think we talked plenty NFL, on Wednesday on our last show, and we meant to, so I think we need to address it, is Shohei.
Yeah. Unanimous MVP.
4 and 5 years.
4 and 5 years.
He
Multiple leagues.
He's the first player in all of the big 4 sports, so baseball, NBA, NFL, NHL, who has won MVP and a championship in each of his first 2 seasons with the team. I mean, we've already got into it. I mean, have we ever seen anything like this before? But I mean, Barry Bonds is the only, he had 7 MVPs. So that's the only one that Shohei trails. And if he does next year, what he's done, he's going to win it again.
I'd like to see there be a year, and it probably won't happen because I don't think he's good enough to. I mean, he might be good enough to do it, but he's not quite Paul Skeens level. But if he could somehow win an MVP and a Cy Young in the same season,
I don't think that's gonna happen.
I don't either because there's too many other good pitchers out there. But he's talented enough to he could do it. That would
I
be
mean,
something.
it I mean,
He's a
that
Cy
would be
imagine him being a Cy Young award winner, and he's hitting 56 bombs and 125, 30 RBIs.
oh, I
That
mean,
would be
it's insane, dude.
it would
It
be
is absolutely insane. But oh, another one, him and Joe Morgan are the only players to have won MVP award in the World Series in back-to-back seasons. Um, it just
he's one of one.
so many different numbers, and he's just gonna keep breaking them. And I just always go back to how did the Angels just let him walk,
How they not win with him.
and how did they not win with him and Mike Trout?
But well, speaking of the Angels in the American League, what are your opinions on the AL MVP? A little controversy there with Aaron Judge getting it over the big dumper.
He's got to go to the dumper, man.
I would have said so too. He's setting switch hit catcher records, switch hitting records.
And
Like
I
he's
think the
hitting all
fact that
these.
you're a catcher just adds another element to it.
Yeah, it's harder to play. The grind on your body as a catcher is a lot more than playing left field or center field or whatever Aaron Judge is.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I mean, it's the big market Yankees over the little market Mariners. Really, I
He's
think
probably
that's
all right.
a
I mean, I
big
think you're
reason
right.
why. I mean, Cal Raleigh should have been MVP, but there was no argument who was the MVP in the other league. So we got what was this one story you was telling me about where dude's like 6'2" and he's trying to become like even taller?
Yeah, I've never heard of this. Maybe you have, but what do they
But
call
no,
what do they
believe
call
me, if
themselves?
I would have heard about it, I would have researched it.
They call them
Going from 4'10" to 5'2" is a big difference than 6'2" to 6'6".
a popular looksmaxxer. I don't know what a
Never heard of this
looksmaxxer
word,
is,
yes.
what that means, don't know. But this dude, I don't even know where he said the article didn't think said where he's from. I think he's not from here.
I don't
But it
think he's from
says
here.
he is $100,000 spending on limb lengthening surgery to go from 6'2" to 6'6". So adding 4 inches of height to his body by basically they're breaking the bones in his legs and stretching them out or something. And I mean, you gonna spend $100,000? How much you spending to go from 4'10" to 6'6"?
Well, no. Well, 4'10" to 6'6", now how much would that cost? I think I'd look a little goofy
Get
too.
out the checkbook.
I think I'd look a little goofy. I don't understand this at all. Like,
It's gotta
look,
hurt.
my whole life, like, I just wanna get to 5 foot. I wanna get this surgery would get me there.
Yeah.
This surgery would get me there. But and I've had surgeries. I've, like, clearly, like, hip replacement, I've had surgeries. And they cut your bone, and they like, it's wild. But I am not doing this for I'm still gonna be short. You're
Yeah.
still gonna be short. You're still gonna be 5'2". Now Muggsy Bogues was 5'3", Prince was 5'2". You're over that 5-foot threshold, which just sounds better.
It could unlock a whole another door of some fine looking females for you.
It could. It could. I'm not gonna research this. Also don't have
Yeah.
$100,000 to spend. But what is dude doing? And he's like, 6'2" is average. He's like 60, but it's not. It's like 90 percentile of height.
Yeah. Yeah.
But he's like, I
Yeah.
want to get to the 99, the 95 or the 99. But like, what?
I don't like I don't yeah. But
Also,
also
a looks maxer. So
yeah, I don't know what
he
that
just
is.
has all these surgeries to make himself look what he thinks is more attractive.
But they're breaking your bones and doing all this to like you're probably gonna live in pain for the rest of your life. Like I just don't see how this is successful and you just walk around normally at 6'6" the rest of your life. There's gonna be some complications. Has to be
Well,
with some pain, some arthritis, probably. I don't know what you got going on in there, but there's just no way you're gonna
yeah.
live a comfortable life adding 4 inches to your leg bones.
Well,
It's,
dude, you play wiffle ball in the front yard. That wiffle ball hits you in the shin. You're probably gonna break your leg in half.
yeah, yeah, yeah. You ain't kidding.
And I'm not trying to do that to get to 5'2" and also spend $100,000.
I hope it
I
works
don't
out. Well, I don't know what he's trying to accomplish. Like, I don't know what his end
Well,
goal is. Like,
I think it's what he's trying to accomplish is get idiots like us and blogs to talk about him so he can make some
mean,
money that way, but
if you want to get to 5 foot, my guy, we can start a height differential GoFundMe page for Nick Evans to get to 5 foot. I think we might have a couple donations come in.
well, I want the full 4 inches, so I wanna get to 5 foot 2 if we're gonna do it.
All right, I think we could
But, like,
probably
4 inches, like, how could I don't understand how this works. I can see, like, 4
4 inches it's a good amount of
Yes,
inches.
yes. Like, how do you I don't understand how it grows back. Like, do they do it gradually? Like, do you have to cut off an inch and then grow back and then do it? Or is it a one time like, I didn't see where they said,
It didn't
like,
say
how long the
multiple
surgery
surgery.
takes.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't.
And is it where do they cut you? Do they cut you below the knee?
It said they break his tibia or fibula here. Let me pull this back up here. It did say in the article what they cut. Let's
So but it is all below the waist.
Yes, to me, the way I read it was
So you're
below
just
the
gonna have
waist.
long legs and a little bitty torso?
Mhm.
Like,
I
it's not
guess.
gonna be
I mean, do you have to do your arms next? Like, do you break your arms? Like, how does
it's not
that
gonna be well, that didn't make you taller unless you're walking around on your arms and legs there, but you're gonna lose some symmetry, which to me, I always thought, like, attractiveness was based on symmetry.
Yeah, I think if you lengthen your legs, you got lengthen your arms, right? I don't know.
I don't Are you reading it live on air?
Yeah, I'm trying to find where they said where the where the surgery was. Also, looksmacking is a new social media trend where people try to look like Patrick Bateman from American Psycho, aiming to maximize your looks.
So you yeah. So you're trying to look like that specific dude, though.
Yeah. Oh, you break a bone, your tibia and your femur, and gradually pull the bone segments apart, which in turn stimulates new bone to grow in the gap. I don't know. I just don't see how this could be successful. You're just gonna be walking around one day and your leg's gonna snap in half. Is what's gonna happen.
Almost dude, just they make the shoes that give you, like, 3 inches, you just shove an insert in your shoe. I've tried them; 'em, they're very uncomfortable.
Or just walk around on like 4 inch stilts. Just wear long pants for the rest of your life and just put some stilts in there.
I mean, there's a lot of things you can do,
Yeah. Yeah.
and
This ain't
I can get on your shoulders.
this to me just doesn't seem like it's gonna be successful. But that's
I can
just
get on your shoulders, and we can just put a big giant 4X football jersey on me.
be like the scene in Little Rascals where they stack 4 of them on top of each
Yes,
other and walk into the
yes,
bank and try to get a loan. Yeah.
yes, yes. So, no, I'm not doing the surgery. I'll just stay 4'10".
That's good because otherwise we'd have to rename the height differential.
Well, no, we still 6'6" to 5'2", you could still be height differential. Now, if
Lesser height differential.
a lesser height differential, and then we got police officers arresting kids for saying 6'7" in Indiana.
Yeah, we do. Some elementary school in Indiana, police officers came into the elementary school, told kids it was a city ordinance that they can't say 6'7", and started handing out tickets to the kids for doing 6'7". Good on those police officers, although the tickets are fake. It was just a fun news story, but I mean, we should start throwing kids in
I mean,
jail at this
I
point.
hope they're not really throwing. I mean,
We should throw these kids in jail at this
well,
point.
your own daughters are going to be thrown in jail.
I'll take them down personally.
How much was the fine?
I didn't see that
Come
part. But,
on, you missed an opportunity there.
oh, was it $6.76?
You just say, "I think it was." It was either $6 or $7, or you say it was $67.
It probably was.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, all 5 of my nieces and nephews over the house today, first half of the Bengals game. I mean, it said on the scoreboard 6-7 the entire half, and
You think that's why
I
Zac Taylor decided to take the extra point off the board and run some stupid 2-point conversion play? It's because he's over there cackling and giggling on the sidelines because it was 6-7 for the whole half.
yeah, he's
He
trying to
did
be
it on
like
purpose. He's a child. He did it on purpose.
He's trying to be like JC Hoyt at Oklahoma State.
He did it on purpose.
Yeah, let's throw these kids in jail.
I
Stop this
agree.
6-7 thing.
Look,
It ain't going nowhere, dude.
some point it will when something else comes along that's even more stupid.
It's the word of the year. The dictionary word of the year.
Not even
It's not
a
even a
word.
word.
It's 2 words.
It's not
2
even a word.
words. The 2 numbers. It's not even. God.
All right. I think we've talked enough gibberish. Let you read the article live on air. so we can figure out how this dude stretches his bones out.
No, I knew thought it was a tibia, so I had to go double check. Just a quick double check. Discount double check.
We missed you for Day of Debauchery.
Yeah.
There was some good cussage outage there for a little bit.
I was on kid duty for most of the day.
Yeah. But yeah, it was still kind of lame.
We'll get back at it next year.
Josh is like, he's the one that always talks about it. When's it gonna be? When's it gonna be?
I told him I'd host it this year. I didn't realize you're all gonna be a troll pub for 10 hours. You open to close troll pub?
We went to Goodwood for dinner and then went back to Troll.
Y'all love troll pub.
I mean,
Apparently the troll pub put a nice little hammering on you because you were not in good form yesterday.
yeah, but then when they leave, I go to Hoops after. So
Oh no, you did.
yeah, so.
What I'm gonna do with you?
But then we got up in the morning. We shot a 41 from the old man tees.
You are an old man.
I had 7 bogeys and 2 pars.
That's pretty good. Pretty
Yeah,
good.
no blow-off holes, but it's a lot different hitting from 320 out than it is hitting from 420 out.
Yeah.
On 2 holes, they even hit from the women's tees. They're like, this hole's really long. We're going to the Reds. I was like, all right, whatever.
Cheater.
So, all right. But before we get off here, make sure you're following us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon. Hit them all. Hit the subscribe button. You watch us on YouTube, you get to see video of all this stuff.
Oh, eesh.
I know. Do you really want that? But I do leave for Cincy on Thursday night, and then we fly to the Caymans on Friday. So
No.
we've got games on Sunday night. So
are we gonna be without a podcast for 2 weeks?
no, we'll do a pod while I'm in the Caymans for sure. I'll be off that Wednesday, so I have games Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, the men's tournament, and those are at night, and then the women's tournament I believe is just Friday and Saturday, the next Friday and Saturday. So we'll find time to do the pod, but let's plan on Wednesday this week since I'm traveling on Thursday, and then after that we'll do a pod live from the Cayman Islands.
Ooh, can't wait for that. You can be on the beach, bare chested on the beach.
If that's what the people want to see.
Well, you told them to start watching it on YouTube, so you got to give the people a show.
Yep. Hit that subscribe. You get to see me bare chested doing the show in the Cayman Islands next week. Drinking some 7 Fathoms rum and some cake. I can't remember what the name of their beer was, but it's all good. 7 Fathoms rum. I'm bringing a bottle home with me this time. But we'll talk to you on Wednesday. What'd you say?
So bring me one too.
2 bottles? Okay. I can do that. We'll be back with you on Wednesday. You've been listening to Height Differential. We'll see you then.
Give it to me.
You got to start listening to these. They're so good.
I don't know. When did we record?